The small town of Coldridge had always been quiet, nestled deep within a dense forest that stretched beyond the horizon. Its residents whispered legends about creatures that lurked in the woods, stories passed down through generations. Most dismissed them as old wives' tales, relics of a bygone era. But for Lily Martinez, those tales became frightening reality one chilly autumn evening. Lily had always been curious, the kind of girl who loved exploring the woods, climbing trees, and uncovering hidden spots where no one else dared to go. Her friends warned her to stay away from certain parts of the forest, especially after sunset, but she often brushed it off, eager for adventure. One evening, as the sun dipped below the treetops casting an orange hue over the landscape, Lily packed her backpack with a flashlight, a snack, and her favorite notebook. She decided to head to an old abandoned cabin she had discovered on a hike earlier that week. It was a secluded area, overshadowed by towering pines and thick underbrush, and the perfect place for a spooky story or two. As she stepped into the woods, the air grew cooler, and a strange silence settled over the trees. No birds chirped, no rustling leaves. Instead, a faint whispering seemed to drift through the branches, almost like voices carried on the wind but unintelligible. Lily shrugged, telling herself it was just her imagination, and pressed forward. The path to the cabin was overgrown, roots snaking across the ground like veins. When she finally reached the dilapidated structure, she paused, shining her flashlight through broken windows. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. Lily felt her excitement bubble as she crossed the threshold, stepping into the darkness. Suddenly, she thought she heard a faint shuffling outside. She froze, listening intently. Was that just a squirrel? Or something else? Her heart started pounding as she crept toward the window, peering out into the night. To her horror, she saw a figure standing among the trees. At first, it looked human, tall, hunched, with elongated limbs. Its skin was pallid and stretched tight over its bones, almost like burned leather. The figure's face was obscured, shrouded in shadow, but Lily could see the faint glow of eyes, glowing with a sickly yellow hue, piercing through the darkness. She blinked, thinking her eyes played tricks, but when she looked again, it was still there. A shiver ran down her spine. She remembered the stories about skinwalkers, evil shape-shifters said to mimic the appearance of humans or animals to lure victims into the woods. The legends described their unnatural movement, their glowing eyes, and their hunger for chaos. Panicking, Lily backed away from the window. She reached for her phone to call her brother, who she knew was only a few miles away, but the signal was dead. The only sound was her own ragged breathing and the faint creaking of the old cabin settling. In the darkness, she thought she saw movement, something slithering just beyond the doorway. Tentatively, she stepped outside, flashlight trembling in her hand. The trees seemed to close in around her as she scanned the shadows. The shuffling noise persisted, closer now, and almost human, yet wrong. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the darkness. It moved on all fours, hunched over, with elongated limbs that bent in unnatural ways. Its skin looked raw and mottled, as if it was stretched over a skull too big for its features. Its eyes, those wicked, glowing orbs, locked onto Lily with an intensity that froze her to the spot. Her voice caught in her throat. She wanted to scream but could only manage a choked gasp. The creature advanced slowly, stretching out a hand that seemed too long, fingers like claws. In a rush of primal fear, Lily turned and ran blindly into the woods, branches whipping at her face and arms. Behind her, she could hear that hideous shuffling, the wet sound of claws scraping bark. The creature's footsteps were thunderous, echoing like a death knell. She didn't look back. She knew what that thing was, what it could become. A skinwalker, cursed to take on any form it desired, to hunt the living and feed on their fear, their flesh. Legend told of them lurking for generations, spirits twisted by dark magic, cursed to walk the earth forever. Suddenly, Lily tripped over a root and fell face first into the underbrush. She scrambled to her knees and kept running, her lungs heaving, heart pounding in her ears. When she reached a small clearing, she saw her car parked a few yards away, headlights flickering to life as she approached. She burst inside, locking the doors behind her, choking on tears and terror. Her mind raced, trying to comprehend what she'd seen. She convinced herself it was just her mind playing tricks, a nightmare dreamed in the darkness. But as she pressed the unlock button on her car, her eyes caught a flicker in the rearview mirror. There, standing just beyond the trees, was the figure. The Skinwalker. Its eyes caught the glow of her headlights, and it tilted its grotesque head, as if observing her with a twisted curiosity. Lily slammed the door and peeled out of the forest, the creature's shadow stretching over the road behind her. She didn't stop until she reached her house, where she bolted the door and called her brother, her voice trembling as she told him everything. But the legend said they don't just disappear when you try to run. Sometimes, they wait, biding their time, watching, ready to pounce when you least expect it. And Lily knew, deep down, that the Skinwalker stalking her was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for nightfall once again. From that day onward, Lily avoided the woods. She would tell no one the full story, fearing they would think her mad. Yet, every night, she would hear whispers beneath her window, and sometimes, if she looked outside late at night, she would see those glowing eyes watching from the darkness, reminding her that some legends are buried nightmares, waiting to come alive.